Hello students, I am Binti Desai from Saraswat International Academy. And yes students, today we will be learning Science of 8th English Medium, Chapter 2, Microorganisms, Friend and Foe, Part 3. Students, in this we learned about the microorganisms or the microbes, right? We also learned how they are classified into different parts. And also we learned about the diseases which are caused by the microbes. We learned that microorganisms are friend means they are helpful to us, also at the same time foe means they are also harmful to us in many of the ways. Microorganisms are used in commercial uses, we also learned that, right? We learned about the fermentation also. Now, today in part 3, dear students, we will be learning about the nitrogen cycle and how the food is preserved. We learned about food poisoning also, is it? We learned how the diseases are caused in plants, animals, and even in the humans just because of the microorganisms and the viruses. Now, let's start up students. See, here it is given, we have already discussed it, some common plant diseases, is it? Citrus canker, rust of wheat, yellow vein mosaic of bindi, that is okra we called it. We discussed about the food poisoning also, that how we suffer from the vomiting, loose motion, is it? Just because that this is caused due to the consumption of the food spoiled or the junk food which are available outside. And these microorganisms that grow on our food produces toxic, that is harmful substances, is it? This is also very harmful. It may cause serious illness or even death. We are admitted in the hospital if the case is serious. So it is very important that the food which we eat should be proper, healthy and preserved well. So food preservation. Let's start. In chapter 1, we have learned about the methods used to preserve and store food grains. Yes, remember crop production chapter, how the crops are being protected and being taken care. How do we preserve cooked food at home? You know that the bread left unused under the moist conditions are attacked by the fungus. We learned this in the 7th standard. Yes, is it? That how a bread turns into the fungus, how they are attracted to the bread after 2 or 3 days. Microorganisms spoil our food. Spoiled food emits bad smell and had a bad taste and change the color. Is spoiling of food a chemical reaction? Yes, we can say it. Paheli bought some mangoes, but she could not eat them for a few days. Later, she found that they were spoiled and rotten, but she knows that the mango pickles her grandmother makes does not spoil for a long time. See, we generally bring all the fruits at our home, that is the banana, mangoes, apple, chiku, etc. There are certain foods which are raw, is it? And after they ripe and we eat, for example mango, they are greenish, first they are raw. After they ripe, it turns to the yellow color or orange which we eat. Now, there are certain food items which are preserved, which are kept and used after few months or days. Even we get frozen peas, is it? Even there is no season, we can have frozen peas. Peas we all know vatana, is it? Then pickles which we eat with our diet, is it? They are also preserved for a long time, for a year basis. How they are preserved? Let's see. Let us study the common methods that how the foods are preserved at our homes. We have to prevent it from the attack of the microorganisms. Students, one more thing I would like to tell you, that whenever now we go for a movie, is it? We all get the preserved food, that is the samosa, pizza, is it? What do? Just keep it in the oven, bake it and give us. There are certain foods like samosas and pizzas, they are also being preserved now, which we get especially in the theaters, is it? Now, first method is the chemical method, dear students. First of all, what is food preservation? Let's see that, okay? Spoilage of the food is prevented by preventing the growth of microbe. Food, we all know it is spoiled by the microorganisms. Now they can be prevented, and these should be maintained. The value of the nutrition should be maintained in the food. That method is called the food preservation. The first one is the chemical method. Let's see. Salts and edible oils are the common chemicals generally used to check the growth of microorganisms. Therefore, they are called preservatives. Preservatives means they are being preserved. We add salt or acid preservatives to pickle to prevent the attack of microbes. Sodium benzoate and sodium metaphosphate are also the common preservatives. These are also used in the jams. We all eat the jam, bread, jam and butter, is it? So jams are being preserved. And squash. Squash means all the sarbat, we can say, is it? Squash, how we add with the milk and water in summer season, is it? The guava squash, we can say, grape squash, etc. What are they being done? They are being preserved and can be stopped by the spoilage. The second method is preservation by common salt. Common salt is also being used to preserve meat and fish for the ages. Yes, fish are also being stored. In the rainy season, we get lot many fish. And what about the fisher people? Even at the homes, these are being preserved. And the ones who are doing business preserve at a large scale. Next, meat and fish are also being preserved. They are being covered with the dry salt to check the growth of the bacteria. Salting is also used to preserve the amla, raw mangoes, tamarind, etc., which we generally use daily at our homes. Is it? How a tamarind, they are kept with salt so that the microorganisms cannot spoil the food item. Next is preservation by the sugar. Jams, jellies, squash are preserved by sugar. Sugar reduces the moisture content, which inhibits the growth of the bacteria which spoils food. When we go to the Mahabaleshwar, children, remember Mahabaleshwar strawberry farm, a very beautiful place. There we get the Mapro chocolates also, right? All the jams which we get, right, of strawberries. I'm giving an example. Even all the squashes, different foods which are made up of jam, chocolates, jelly, chocolates, etc. They are preserved by the sugar, so that the growth of the bacteria doesn't grow with the help of the sugar. The food can be preserved by the sugar. Next is preservation by oil and vinegar. Uses of oil and vinegar prevents spoilage of pickles because bacteria cannot live in such an environment. Vegetables, fruits, fish and meat are also preserved by this method. So the first one is chemical method, right? Second is by common salt. Third is prevention by the sugar. Next is oil and vinegar. Vinegar, why we all know the white form of water, we can say, is it? White color, it is of a watercolor. Next is vegetables, fruits and also the fish and meat. They are also preserved by the method of oil and vinegar. Next, hot and cold treatments. You must have observed your mother boiling milk before it is stored or used. Yes, when we bring the milk packets, is it that Amul Meal Taja, Amul Gold, etc. I am giving example. When we bring the polythene of it, first thing what we do, we boil the milk. Is it? After that we reuse for drinking or any other purposes. Boiling kills many of the microorganisms. Dear students, we all know that in rainy season how the atmosphere is it? Mosquitoes are also growing so fast. Even the microbes grow so fast in monsoon season especially. So, We are told that during monsoon season we should always boil the water and drink, so that after boiling the water the microorganisms are killed. Similarly, we keep our food in the refrigerator. Low temperature inhibits the growth of microorganisms. We all keep the vegetables, is it? All the chutneys, etc. Many of the things in the refrigerator at low temperature. Why does the milk that comes in the packets not spoil? My mother told me that the milk is pasteurized. What is pasteurization? Let's see. Pasteurization milk can be consumed without boiling as it is free from harmful microbes. The milk is being heated to about 70 degree for 15 to 30 seconds and then suddenly chilled and stored. By doing this, it prevents the growth of microbes. This process was discovered by Louis Pasteur. See what it happens, that this milk can be also consumed, means can be drinkable without boiling also. How? That this milk is heated for about 15 to 20 seconds at the temperature of 70 degree Celsius. Is it? And after that it is being chilled. ठंडा करते हैं उसको, गर्म करने के बाद after few seconds गर्म करने के बाद it is being chilled and stored, so that it can prevent the growing of the microbes. This process was discovered by Louis Pasteur and this is called pasteurization. Next is storage and packing. These days, dry fruits and even vegetables are sold in sealed airtight. I told you about the frozen peas, is it? How they are being stored and used when the season is not there. So they are being sealed in the airtight packets to prevent the attack of the microbes. Even the paneers, dear students, French fries which we eat in the McDonald's, is it? Their fries are also being stored and preserved in the tight packets. And after that we can fry it and eat it at our home. Now the next is nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen fixation, let's see. Rhizobium bacteria, we learned about the rhizobium bacteria, is it? Now, how does it is involved in the fixation of nitrogen pulse in the leguminous plants? Students, leguminous plants we all know, is it? The plants which are a form of pulses we can say. And rhizobium we all know that where does it stay? In the root nodules, is it? In the root of the leguminous plants. For example, beans and peas. And they have a symbiotic relation. Students, symbiotic relation we all know. I will give you a simple example of a bread and fungus. A simple example that on the pale bread a fungus comes and fungus eat all the nutrients from the bread. Is it? But what about the fungus? Does it give anything to the bread? No. So here what? The fungus is using the bread. Is it? The nutrients of the bread we can say. So this is what a form of a symbiotic relationship. Sometimes nitrogen gets fixed through the action of lightning. But you know that the amount of nitrogen in the amount remains constant. We all know about the oxygen and the carbon dioxide, is it? Which we inhale and exhale. But what about the nitrogen? That gaseous, that air form are also present in our atmosphere at a constant level. Why does it happen? Let us see, dear students, that what is the role of nitrogen and why it is constant in our atmosphere. See here the roots of leguminous plants are given, the root nodules, and this we learned also in 6th and 7th, the rhizobium bacteria, is it? Let's start about the nitrogen cycle. Our atmosphere has 78% of the nitrogen gas, is it? Yes, we all know, which we are not able to see and inhale also. Nitrogen is one of the essential constituent of all the living organisms. Such parts of chlorine, chlorophyll, nuclei, acids and vitamins. The atmospheric nitrogen cannot be taken directly by plants and animals. Yes. See, nitrogen cycle is also given. We will see it. But let's read first. The atmospheric nitrogen cannot be taken directly by plants and animals. Certain bacteria and blue-green algae, yes, present in the soil fixes nitrogen from the atmosphere and convert it into the compounds of nitrogen. Once nitrogen is converted into these usable compounds, it can be utilized by plants from the soil through the root system. Nitrogen is then used for the synthesis of plant proteins and other compounds. Animals feeding on the plants get these proteins and other nitrogen compounds. When plants and animals die, bacteria and fungi present in the soil converts the nitrogen waste into nitrogenous compounds to be used by plants again. Certain other bacteria convert some part of them of nitrogen which goes back into the atmosphere. As a result, the percentage of nitrogen in the atmosphere remains more or less constant. I'll explain you. I just read it for you. I'll explain it. Let's start. See, compounds of the nitrogen in the soil, is it? The bacteria turns the compounds into the gaseous nitrogen form. So this nitrogen, oxygen goes into the nitrogen, and we all know they are being fixed by the lightning, right? We all know that when the two clouds meets, we all know that lightning happens, is it? When the जब भी दो बादल टकराते हैं, lightning happens. At that time, what happens? The nitrogen fixation happens. Next is, we all know that lightning nitrogen again goes to the compound of the nitrogen of the soil. Now, first is the compounds of the nitrogen. They are fixed into the soil nodules, not soil nodules, sorry, root nodules in the rhizobium bacteria. Then again the bacteria turns that compounds of nitrogen into the gaseous form. Now again it goes upside. After that, nitrogen fixing bacteria and blue-green algae, these are being fixed into the atmospheric nitrogen, and this turns into the bacteria in turn fixes nitrogen into nitrogen compounds. See, these are being converted, these compounds are being into the gaseous form, is it? And also how they are used being plants. Plants grow, animals feed on that, is it? That waste again goes to the excreta and death of the plants and animals. Students, plant waste, animal, they feed the plants, the fruits and leaves, etc. They feed on the plants, the animals I am talking about. Now that animals, they also die. Now what about that? After they die, they decay inside the ground or the soil. So at last what do we get? We get the nitrogenous waste. Is it? This is used by the plants. I repeat again. Now that plants are being taken by the animals, that is animals feed on the plants, we can say. Now after this, the nitrogenous waste, is it, that we get from the excretion or the death of the animals. Which animals? Which they feed on the plants. And what do that plants have? They have the compounds of the nitrogen into the soil. So we can say that nitrogen is present constantly in our atmosphere. So how this chain keeps on moving. So in this chapter, what we here few words are given: algae, antibiotics, antibodies, bacteria, carrier, communicable disease, fermentation, fungi, lactobacillus, microorganisms, nitrogen cycle, nitrogen fixation, pasteurization, pathogen, preservation, protozoa, rhizobium, vaccine, virus and yeast. These are the keywords which are given and which we learn in this chapter. Let's revise in small points that what we have learned. Microorganisms are too small and are not visible to the unaided eye. So what do we use? Microscope. Is it to test it or to observe it? Next, they can live in any of the kind of environment, that is ranging from high cold climate, hot springs and the deserts to the marshy lands. Microorganisms are present everywhere in any of the situation, hot, cold, marshy or any desert place. Next, third, microorganisms are found in air, water, and in the bodies of plants and animals. Is it? Next, they may be unicellular or multicellular. Unicellular means single cell, and multicellular means more than one cell. Next, microorganisms include bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and some algae. They are classified into 4 types. Viruses, through different form of observed mentioned living organism, are considered microbes. Viruses are quite different from other microorganisms. They reproduce only inside the host organisms. Is it? We learned about that TB and all, right? For example, bacterium, plants or animal cell. They reproduce inside the host organism. I am talking about all the viruses, dear students, okay? Next is some microorganisms are useful for commercial production or medicines and alcohol. Remember all the antibiotics, antibodies, how they are made from the microorganism, the injections, the vaccines, etc. Some microorganisms decompose the organic waste and dead plants and animals into the simple substances and clean up the environment. Next is protozoans cause serious diseases like dysentery and malaria. Some of the microorganisms grow on our food and causes food poisoning. Next, some microorganisms reside in the root nodules and leguminous plants, which we learned just right now in this part. They can fix the nitrogen from air, soil, and increases the soil fertility. Yes, this plays a very important role in nitrogen fixation, that increases the soil fertility in the soil. Next, some bacteria are blue-green algae present in the soil, fix nitrogen from the atmosphere and convert into the nitrogenous compounds. Last, certain bacteria convert compounds into the nitrogen present in the soil into the nitrogen gas, which is released to the atmosphere. So we are all clear about this, that how the bacteria convert the compounds of nitrogen in the soil and into the nitrogen gas, which is then released in the atmosphere. Clear, students? Thank you.